Welcome back, everybody. Today, I finally received the new G-Shock, the GW-BX5600. This is the black version with the negative display. And the reason why I went for the negative display is because I feel like it just looks better overall. It has this stealth look with the black strap, the black bezel, and the letterings are also, they're more like hidden, I believe, because they're kind of like, they're not white, they're like a grayish color, so it kind of like fades away, like the multi-band 6. This part up here, you don't really notice it that much. On the positive display, I believe that the letterings are a little bit more of the whitish color, and overall I just like the negative display more. I feel like it pops more, it has like a better look overall. So that's why I went for the negative, right? And now let me tell you guys something. I've had probably over 10 G-Shocks and probably 5 different luxury brand watches, Tudor, Omega. I can't even remember the other ones that I've had, right? And I currently own a Black Bay 58 that you could see in my other videos that I have. But I find that this watch right here is a game changer. I don't even want to wear any luxury watch after wearing this, because I'm so used to having all the information, the day, month, the day of the month, your stopwatch, countdown timer, all the things that this comes with, along with not having to set it if you don't wear it for 3-4 days, and then worrying about losing time over a week and this and that. So this is very accurate. Again, you can choose to have it sync with your phone every night through Bluetooth and whatnot, but there's really no need to do that because the accuracy on this is, I would assume, not, plus minus a minute or two in a year. So that's why I just find myself very drawn to this watch, right? But now let's get into why, this is worth paying a little extra and receiving it from overseas, which is what I did, right? That's how I got this. I had to get it shipped from Japan. Now, when you get it shipped from Japan, with the new laws and whatnot, it did get held up a little bit at customs, and it took like a day or two for it to clear. So that was kind of annoying, but it still came in like a week, maybe even like 5 days it was. And overall, the MSRP on this is like $220, I believe, in US dollars. I winded up paying about $300, which is, that's what it is. If you want it, that's what it's going to cost you. And there's just no other way around it, because for whatever reason, G-Shock is being a bunch of a-holes, not releasing this to the North American market. Unfortunately, that's just what the situation is right now, and I don't see it changing anytime soon, because this was released around November of last year, 2025, and it's going to be almost a year since its release. Still didn't come to the North American market, or South American, which it just, I don't know, that's what they're doing, right? So now, the other thing that I wanted to mention about this, anybody that's coming from one of these older ones right here, okay, and you're having second thoughts because of the size difference, you feel that it might be a little bit too bigger now and whatnot, let me tell you something, right? I've had this watch for, I don't even know how long, 5 years plus. You can tell by the band, see how worn out it is. It's been on my wrist for a very long time. Now, me, when it comes to my watches, I don't take them off when I go to sleep, or when I go to shower. I just leave it on, I set it and forget it. That's it. I don't have time to take it off every night, put it on in the morning, when I'm showering, this, that. This is a G-Shock. It's completely fine. I've swam with these, all kinds of things, no issues, right? Now, what is the benefit to getting this one versus, let's say, if you're an older one that you have, right? Let's say one of these that has the solar, the tough solar on it, okay? Any version that you might have that's got a tough solar and you're thinking about upgrading to this, because if you have a non-tough solar version, it's a no-brainer, get this one. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts, okay? The reason why you should upgrade to this one if you have like an older tough solar model is simply for two reasons, okay? Number one is the display. The display on this is a game changer. When looking at it on videos and whatnot, it does look appealing, but when you have this and you open it out of the box, which was what I felt, as soon as I opened it out of the box and I looked at it, I said, holy shit. And I honestly, I couldn't stop staring at it for, a little while. Because at the end of the day, it's still a G-Shock, you're used to it, but at the same time, you're not. Because the display is just a game changer. I mean, you really have to see it in person to understand, okay? And it's bigger. It's definitely more clear. There's 1,000 other videos on the functions and whatnot, but it's pretty much regular G-Shock functions. There's nothing this has that another one doesn't have. If besides the Bluetooth, if you're coming from a non-Bluetooth. So that's my take on it. It's definitely, if you like G-Shocks, or if you're just looking to upgrade your G-Shock or get a new one because yours is older and it's starting to wear out, like I showed you over here, look at this, this is years of use. And you just want something newer, okay? You can see it. This is the way to go. Now, I wanted to do a separate video of a versus or a comparison video between the old and the new. But I'm just going to go ahead and do that for you guys right here because views don't really matter to me. I'm not making money off these videos. So let me show you what are the slight differences in the specs, okay, the overall of these two watches. So besides the display, obviously, there is a few other minor differences, okay, and you could see the buttons. Now, the buttons on these watches, okay, people say that, oh, these are bigger, but they're not. They're actually the same size. The only difference is, let me see if I can show you a little bit. And you can kind of see it right here. On the new one, they just stick out a little bit more. So they're just a little bit easier to press. Now, you can also see it right here, how on the new one they stick out a little more. But size-wise, they're exactly the same. And in all honesty, it's really not that much of a easier use. They still need to be bigger overall if you were for it to make that much of a difference. Because the thing with this watch is I don't like using the Bluetooth and all that, but there's a way to check the battery level on this. If you press these two and this one these two and this one right here at the same time, it'll bring you to a menu option of the watch where you can scroll through some stuff, and then if you go to battery, it'll give you a battery level. So it has L, low, M, medium, and then it has H3, 2, and 1, which is high, low, high, medium, high, and H1 is max battery. So you can do it like that too, which is kind of annoying. This is right here is the best way, obviously, with the battery indicator. But what I feel like they should do on this is where you can go through the different functions that it has, and let's just say one of the functions where when you press this for stopwatch, timer, whatever, you can have a battery meter screen just overall. Or of course they could have just added it right here, where it doesn't need like a separate thing on the display like LMH. It could just have, you see how it says SIG here? It could just have anywhere on the bottom, H1, H2, H3, LM for battery indicator, and that would be it. That would be great. That would make this watch just even better than what it already is. But when it comes to the battery, it honestly, like, this is on high. Since the day that I got this watch, I've never had it fall anywhere below high. I don't have the auto light function, which is what would definitely drain your battery. And along with the Bluetooth on this would probably drain your battery too if you have it to where it's connecting to your watch every night to sync the time. I just turned that off because, like I said, it's completely unnecessary. You only have to do that maybe like once every 6 months, where your seconds are plus minus 10 from when you set it initially. Now, the other thing, of course, is the size. Now, size-wise, right, honestly, it really is not that much of a difference. When you put it on your wrist, I promise you, you're not gonna feel that, oh, this is bigger. It's honestly the same, right? And let me try and show you here. So this is right here on my wrist. Okay, let me try and get it in there. Okay, now you can see how the lug to lug, okay, it pretty much ends right here, right? And now let me put this on. You see, it's really not that much of a difference. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. All right, and here you go. That's this on the wrist, and now here is this one on the wrist. It's slightly bigger in diameter, which is what you will notice more so than the lug to lug. If your concern is the lug to lug, which is what mine was initially, it's you're not even gonna notice it. I have a 6 and a 7/5 inch wrist, so the lug to lug is no biggie, but the overall diameter is what you will notice. Now that is the difference between these two right here, okay? Another thing that I've noticed is the strap, all right? So now you can see here, this strap on the new one is actually a bit thinner than the old one, and you can see it right here. It's actually thinner ever so slightly, okay? Now it's thinner, all right, and also it's just a little bit shorter, okay? Just a little bit shorter, but the interesting thing is that it's only a little bit shorter on this side, okay? As you could see, ever so slightly a little bit shorter on this side. And I've also noticed, now I don't know if it's because this one is just old and the material of the strap has faded out or changed over time or whatever, but the straps do feel different. This one feels softer and like a more premium material, but like I said, like this one, like it's hard to tell on camera, but you could kind of see it right here. They're just a little bit different, is the way it feels. And also this one has a slight little like sparkle glitter in it when the sunlight hits it. So I don't know if that's gonna fade over time or if this is gonna change, to the way this is over time from exposure to sun, water, just all the elements that it faces every day. And another thing you can see here is this part of the strap, it's also bigger on the older one than it is on the newer one. So I don't know how that makes any sense, but that's just how it is. The overall case of the new one is bigger, the lug to lug slightly bigger, but everything else when it comes to the strap is smaller. And now another difference that I've noticed is the bottom piece right here, the metal plate, Okay, when you put it on your wrist, it sticks out a little bit and you can see it. Whereas on this one, you don't really see it so much. And it's a visual thing only. Other than that, it does absolutely nothing else as far as feel and wearability. So these are my takes, of the differences. And you could also see here that this piece is smaller on the new one than it is on the older one. Okay, and both of them have the, let me see, made in Thailand, and same thing on this one, made in Thailand. So once again, I hope that you enjoyed this video and it helped you out in any decision you might have buying, upgrading, or just buying overall the new one, the what is this, BX5600. Yeah, honestly, like I said, I love it. I do wish that they offered it in the US for, it's just an easier attainability, cheaper and easier. So that's my take on it. But real quick, also, one other thing I will say is the light on this is not as bright as it is on this one. Let me see if I could show you real quick. Okay, so that's the light here, and I'm not in a completely dark room, but you can still see how much of a difference it is. Okay, once again, if you're in a dark room, trust me, any little bit of light, you'll be able to see everything just fine. And then I keep it in the, you can change the font to this one, the original old school one. But if you're gonna do that, you might as well just hold on to one of these, because this font is, let me just look at it. It's completely different. It's better, more clear. And now when it comes to the day, the day displays, it comes in 3 letters, whereas as this one, it's in 2 letters. And you can change all this, give it the different displays of how it shows you. So you can do the full, the full day of the week with the year below it. And then you could do the day with the month and the day of the week and your different time zones and all that. But I just leave it like this because this is all I need as far as information, and it works for me. Like I said, great watch. I strongly advise anybody and everybody to get one of these if you are a G-Shock lover or a hater, because this will turn you into a lover. Okay, so once again, any questions, comments, you know what to do, and subscribe.